Here are your hosts. He chose Rhinestone over the Karate Kid on opening night, June 22nd, 1984. Lee Bridges. He drives to Lake Lure just so he can feel like Johnny Castle. Garrick Lane. He bet on Buster Douglas in Japan, but lost the voucher. Doug Wall. And finally, he needs no introduction, as he is the reason for this show. He is the mid of the night. He is the in of the drive. He is the cast in the pod. He is me, Mark Rose. Now sit back and relax and listen to the super sounds of the 70s. This is the Midnight Drive-In.
Lead on, adventurer.
Garrick?
Hold on, man, hold on.
What are you doing?
Hold on. I'm playing Dragon Slayer. Here, just
What?
go ahead, just start. I'm playing Dragon Slayer.
Dragon Slayer. Welcome to the Midnight Drive-In. I guess I'll take it from here. Guys, Lee, Doug, you guys are here.
What's up, Mark?
How's it going?
Garrick's over here playing Dragon's Lair.
Just leaving for the business.
So did you guys watch any good movie this week?
What you watch, this?
I watched Copycat.
Right. Yeah.
95, John Emile, Sigourney Weaver, serial killer, Copycat, serial killer.
Yeah.
Movie that I always really kind of enjoyed it.
I watched it once when it came out. I haven't seen it since.
I haven't seen it in several years, and I think it held up pretty well.
Yeah.
Obviously, the worst part of it is Harry Connick Jr. I think that was his first role.
Yeah.
And he overdoes it for sure as one of the serial killers in this movie. But I don't know. It's a cool story, cool movie.
Does he know with like a thick Southern accent in it? Which is weird because he's from Louisiana, so he could just talk.
You would think, but he really lays it on thick. He really lays it on.
I always hear a little Brooklyn out of him whenever I hear him talk. I don't know. I'm sure he's from the South, but I always think Harry Connick Jr., you know. Little Brooklyn in there, but no, he's
Wasn't Harry Connick Jr. the murderer?
He's one of them.
I just ruined it for everyone now that I'm dead on Dragon's Lair.
Yeah, welcome back.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've been Don Bluth all week. Like I watched An American Tale, and it's my kid's favorite, my daughter's favorite movies. All Dogs Go to Heaven. So we watched that. We watched The Secret of Nim, and we watched An American Tale, and then I got in on the Don Bluth train.
Yeah.
Downloaded Dragon's Lair and started playing it. Man, took me back to the '80s. You know, kind of like Steven Spielberg and Duel.
Yeah.
American Tail sounds like an American porn film or something.
Really?
American Tail.
I'm sure they did one. However, I'm talking about the good and wholesome G-rated American Tail, Mark. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll just go back to playing Dragon Slayer now. What else you watch? I know that's not the only movie. What'd you watch that on USA Network?
Actually, I think I rented it on Amazon.
You actually physically spent money on that movie? It's on Prime.
It was a Prime,
okay.
yeah. And it was one that I just saw was on, and I thought, you know what?
Sometimes I do that. I'll just see a movie I haven't watched in forever and just start it.
Wasn't that Holly Hunter too?
Holly Hunter, still looking good
I'm
in
sorry,
that movie.
you guys have already said that, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm like,
You were over there playing your dragon thing.
Dermot Mulrooney, not
Dylan McDermott.
Not Dylan McDermott.
Hey, Holly Hunter was bathwater material
She's
back
sexy.
in the day.
She was still sexy in this.
Yeah.
You know, she's aged a little bit now, but in 95 she was still...
She was sexy in the piano.
Yeah. Oh,
And she was bonnet and big dress.
Yes.
I would say something about Anna Paquin, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to wait till True Blood. I'm going to wait till we review the HBO series True Blood.
I hope that didn't ever come.
Oh, speaking of Anna Paquin, though, I got the text. You watched The 25th Hour.
I did.
What'd you think?
Was that her first movie?
No.
She won an Oscar by that time. Yeah, she won an Oscar for the piano.
She won an Oscar when she was
11?
Yeah, when she was my kid's age.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought when I saw her name in the credits, I'm like, oh, that movie was fantastic.
That was the movie when she went from the kid from the piano to okay.
Yeah. She grown.
Yeah.
Yes. She. That was it. She had a great role. That whole side storyline in that movie with Philip Seymour Hoffman was great. Like the whole the teacher and the student thing.
Oh, he's such a sad character.
Oh, he's pathetic.
When is he not?
I know.
I mean, that's the greatest.
He played it so well. He was.
There's only a select few movies where Philip Seymour Hoffman isn't pathetic. I mean, obviously, When the Devil Knows You're... God, why can't I ever think of that great...
When the Devil Knows You're Dead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One. The Master, he wasn't pathetic.
He wasn't pathetic in the... wasn't he one of the criminals in one of the Mission Impossible?
Mission Impossible 3. He's the bad guy.
I think he was the bad guy, and he was like a smooth
he was
head in
real
that.
bad.
He was definitely not schleppy.
Yeah.
And Charlie, well, I've just totally lost my train of thought.
Too much dragons.
Charlie Wilson's War. He was good.
He's really good in that.
Anyway, I think we've done this already. Let's talk about the movie.
Yeah. What do you think of 25th Hour?
Yeah, for goodness sakes. Philip Seymour Hoffman hour.
Loved the 25th Hour. The way it started was, I think, typical of Spike Lee. I really didn't know what was going on. I actually loved the fact that you did not know when the action was actually happening and when it was in like a dream sequence or when it was potential future or whatever. It just left you thinking so much as you're watching it. Okay, are we? Is this really happening here?
Yeah.
Or is this potential future for this guy? It was really well done. I thought it was fantastic. The long fuck you speech.
Oh yeah.
just seems to go on forever. But it's just brilliant. I mean, it's just.
And I love movies that just take place on one night. Like it's like
Yeah.
I love stuff like that.
And the ending is heartbreaking. I won't give it away for anyone who hasn't seen it. But probably a lot more people have seen it than me. But the end. I just wanted that to be his future.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those movies. I'm completely against the Hollywood ending.
Yeah.
But that movie, you're kind of on the fence during that whole sequence, and you're kind of like, well, this is kind of cool if this really this is.
And it was great that it didn't have the Hollywood ending. It was great that it didn't.
It's cliche, but I'm pulling for it. But then when they cut back in and you realize, that it was all just a daydream, it's like, okay, that movie was about as good as it gets.
And Brian Cox is great as his dad.
Oh, absolutely.
He's the man.
But all through the movie, I found myself thinking, what would you do in this situation if you got to check in and for the next 7 years of your life? That would you put the gun in your mouth or what? He had several options, and. But it was like, what would I do in that situation?
I wonder how effective Slattery, Barry Pepper's character. I wonder how effective that really is. Really is. Hey, I want you to beat me to a pulp, when I go in, I look like a tough guy. I wonder, in all actuality, how effective something like that would be.
I don't know.
Don't want to know. Don't ever.
Well, honestly, it can't hurt.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
unless you get your ass kicked again.
That's true.
Yeah, unless they look at it and go, he plays up real nice. Let's try it again.
Buddy, the big Russian guy.
Tony Saragusa. How good.
Yeah.
Football player.
Was he ever in another movie? I don't think so, but he's so good.
He might have been in something else, I want to say, but yeah, you kind of expected more after watching him.
Right, because he's like,
he was that good.
He just, like, his Russian accent is just perfect.
There was only one scene in this movie that I had a question about. It was when they're in that club.
Yeah.
And then Frank is sitting there with Natural at this bar. All these people are very quiet.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there whispering to each other. But it's a crowded bar.
Yeah.
And there's no music or anything playing, but you're perfectly hearing them speak. And all these people are like in the background, just...
You sure they're not in a room? Aren't they in the back room?
They're in a bar.
That might have been a technical situation.
And I was like, what? No, they would actually be like talking very loudly.
Screaming at each other.
Yeah. But the scene was they were whispering at each other.
That's a good call.
I thought that was an interesting choice. I don't know.
Oh, the things that
Or
you
to try and
notice.
make
I've
it
watched
maybe
that
more
movie
intimate.
200 times, and
Yeah.
I really haven't thought about that. Sure, you're probably right.
Because
And
they
then-
were still in this club, you know. It was just a bar off to the side of the club.
And and Spike Lee, dude, he got in his dolly shot when Philip Seymour Hoffman corners Anna Pecan and gives her a kiss, and then comes out of the bathroom, and and it's all right, you can still go home, and they've got Philip Seymour Hoffman on the dolly, and he's like looking up. They always do those shots. I love it, man. And then yes, the bathroom, the FU montage that has 6 million hits on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like literally, people have clipped that out, and it's all over the internet.
It's like the Glengarry Gun Ross speech.
Oh yeah! Oh yes! Oh
Alan Baldwin's
yes!
speech.
Put that coffee down.
Yeah. There's people who've seen that who've never seen the movie. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's funny. It's not in the play.
No, he wrote that for
I did the play, and I wanted to play that character, but the director wouldn't let me play that part. I said, I just want to do this part and leave, you know. He's just in the beginning, you know.
Yeah.
I was the Roma. I played Roma in college. We had to do that. I did that play for drama, and I was Roma. And
That was the Pacino part.
yeah, what a good man. Golly, what a good play.
Oh yeah. Mammoth's the man.
So which scene? All right. So rant wise, since we're on it, which one's better? The Edward Norton to the mirror, or the one in Do the Right Thing, where you gold teeth, gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuity?
That's a good question.
Which one's better?
I'll say the Ed Norton one's better by a hair. They're both really good.
Right. Well, one is a racial rant,
Right.
Intercutting different races, talking about other races, and then Ed Norton's just basically right. And this is what's crazy is this comes right after 9/11.
Right.
And Spike Lee wrote that in.
Yeah.
And he's cursing.
Yeah.
Everything about New York.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is like
it's racial too, but it's more about just the little pockets, like the Italian people,
the melting
Irish people.
pot.
Yeah,
Yes, the melting pot. So a
That
little
he
bit
loves
of
it and he
racist.
hates it at the same time.
So that speech is not in the book.
That speech is not in the book.
Spike Lee wrote that part?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's a lot of self-loathing in the book, but there's no. Yeah, that's Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely knows Spike Lee. That movie's fantastic. And again, it's obviously, as we all know, it's still my favorite Spike Lee movie, even after Black Klansman.
Oh yeah. Now that I've seen 3 Spike Lee films,
How do they compare?
Oh.
You've seen 4.
I've seen 3.
You've seen Malcolm X.
A long time ago. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
I guess
these
I-
two, which we'll all agree are fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Black Klansman was so awesome that I think it's about a tie for me for between.
Yeah. Black Klansman was really good.
yeah.
It was.
It was.
But
I don't know how it'll hold up in 10 years to me. Like, I can go watch the 25th Hour. You know, it's a 15-year-old movie, and it's still new to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if in 5 or 10 years I'll be able to say the same about
That's true.
Black Klansman. I don't
you're
know.
right.
I don't know.
And it's funny because, the 25th Hour, when the 25th Hour came out,
And that speech is a part of it, but it's not the only reason.
Right.
You know.
Well, I wanted to see it so badly because I'd seen so much on it. And it was Spike Lee. I actually drove to Greensboro to see it. And I don't know. The 25th Hour, when that came out, like, I was in a really bad part of my life, I guess. I was very angry.
Right.
And just kind of felt like doomed, so to speak. So that movie just kind of talked to me. Yeah, resonated, even though, he was going, he's a drug dealer and he was going to jail. Just the dismal feeling of being helpless kind of stuff. I don't know, but some movies talk to you better than others.
Oh, yeah.
Black Klansman, I'm married and, things are different for me now. I got kids and stuff like that. Black Klansman just doesn't resonate like the 25th Hour did when it came out. It's always stuck that way.
That's and it's like we've talked about before. Like, there are movies you see and you love it immediately, and there are movies you see and you don't like, but then you watch it 2 years later and it hits you because maybe it's just maybe it's the moment when you see it at the same time that it affects you.
But I had the different situation of having seen it now here at my present age, and I still think it was an excellent film.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's funny what the brain, how the brain works, because when and I don't know. This is tough to say since we've actually got an audience member. But when somebody says something, when somebody says sex scene in a movie,
right?
The first one I ever think of is Angel Heart.
All right.
Lisa Bonet and Mickey Rourke. Maybe because that was the first one the first graphic one that I ever saw as a kid.
Right.
It's the first one that comes to my head. And I've seen plenty. There's been plenty of those movies. Yeah. There's been plenty.
Wild Orchid with Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, but there's been plenty. A couple weeks ago, did you see Irreversible? What?
No.
Okay, so anyway, that obviously is not the same, but yeah.
You definitely talked me out of it.
No, you really need to see that movie, Doug. But anyway, so I think it's just something about, films resonating, which kind of brings us to the Midnight Drive-In movie tonight, Duel.
Yeah. Duel. There we go.
How was it? You want to start us? You are the big fan. You pushed
your movie, Mark.
The day that we decided to do this podcast, Mark interrupted and said, I'll do it, but we got to watch Duel. No, I'm just kidding.
What can I say? It's Steven Spielberg's first movie. It was a made-for-TV movie.
Yep.
It was very well done. I think it holds up as well now as it did when I saw it in the 70s. Of course, it scared the hell out of me when I saw it in the 70s.
Right.
So it didn't have the same effect, so it was, But
I will say, unlike a lot of movies, there's not, with the exception of, like, phone booths and his lack of a cell phone, there's really nothing that dates it.
Yeah.
Because if you're on a mountain road by yourself and you don't have a cell phone, it's 1972.
Yeah.
Basically, there's really no difference. Because you're just as screwed then as he was. You're just as screwed now as he was then.
Well, he did find. He did find a payphone.
He did.
You wouldn't be able to find a payphone.
No,
today.
You probably wouldn't have any cell phone towers out there where
he
was.
He would run out of gas looking for a payphone now.
For sure.
I've seen movies like made within the last 10 years where they'll actually use a glass payphone in a movie. And I'm like, in what world? I would believe there were Martians that landed before I believe you find a payphone. Like in an old school like glass booth with the
a newer
like I've seen movies made like the last 10 years. I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah, because then they had the evolution of the phone booth, like when you saw Christopher Reeve look up and down at that one phone.
Yeah, exactly. Just the old payphone on the wall. Yeah, yeah.
But Duel holds up very well, I thought. And for Spielberg's first effort, it was a hell of a movie.
Oh yeah.
Shot in 13 days.
Yep. Originally 10, then they gave him 3 more just because it looked so good. They wanted to give him basically time to do more stunts and stuff.
It's amazing, like how they built the tension just by putting a little bit of radio in the background. Mm-hmm. I noticed a lot of the spots at the beginning. He's listening to radio and they're talking about things, and he's intercutting into the traffic, and you can hear the radio, and it's changing, and just, I don't know, yes, well done, just for what it was.
And I love it, the very first scene when he's talking on the phone to his wife, she's talking about they went to a dinner party the night before, and she got hit on by some guy he works with. And there's that talk about how he should have punched the guy in the face, and he's like, well, am I not a man? And basically that's what the rest of the movie is about, him being a man. Yeah, standing up for himself, not against a coworker, but against a psychopath in a giant truck.
And his last name, the ending when he finally is the man,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And the character's last name is Man. So,
it's true.
Oh, there you go.
He's the man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I enjoyed it. I like the editing, and
a lot of those things you would have only been able to have one take on.
Oh, yeah.
And let's face it, some of those, unless they had like 5 of those cars.
Yeah. The scene with the gas station that has the little rattlesnake park in it where he's driving, that was probably one.
And they would have had to shot a lot of it in sequence, I would think, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Unlike the way movie making is done, a lot is shot out of sequence. It looks like you would have had to.
Yeah, because of the car.
Yeah.
As you beat the car up.
Right. I'd imagine they probably had like 3 cars.
You think?
Like one for him to drive and a couple for stunt guys to drive.
Oh, sure.
But they had like the hero car that he was sitting in. Yeah, they probably only had one of those.
And then as the dust, like it's hard for continuity to keep the dust as the dust. Right. It was. I think it was great. It's funny because it's been a while. Like, I mean, we watched different parts of that in film school to like editing and how you build tension and build suspense through editing, and that was obviously a perfect example of
Back in the days when you actually had to edit film.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The only dialogue in the whole, seriously, like besides that phone call to his wife, there's very little dialogue that's not, inner monologue.
Right, yeah. Yeah, really well done.
It reminded me a lot of an elongated Twilight Zone episode.
Well, the first thing Spielberg ever directed professionally was the pilot episode of Night Gallery. Rod Serling's Night Gallery, which had Joan Crawford in it. She's an actress who's gone blind, and she is going to get this illegal eye surgery where she has to take the eyes out of a living person and put them in hers. But it only lasts for like an hour. But she wants it so bad that she'll do it. And when it happens, they unwrap her eyes, there's a power outage. And she's in darkness, and that was probably what got him the job directing Duel.
Probably,
yeah.
Or that he's just probably the most
skilled director, maybe of all time.
And
watching that and knowing that was his first, I wanted to see some cracks in it. I'm looking to does this look right or does it? And honestly, it all looked and ran.
That he was
smooth,
24
perfect.
years old and he was just that slick.
Dude.
Really impressive.
It's not a shock after watching that and watching some of his other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it's funny. I don't get me wrong. I mean, Spielberg's favorite, my favorite movie of all time is a Spielberg movie, and we grew up like that's.
Oh yeah.
Raiders.
Raiders. All the movies that I grew up, my childhood is based on his movies. And they're all good. And then the ones that he does for Oscar always get attention.
Yeah.
I saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind 4 times at the theater, sitting on the front row.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a good movie.
It was because you had a crush on Richard Dreyfuss.
It still holds up too. I've watched that in the inside of the last.
Wallowing in the dirt in his living room. That was the best.
I watched that movie, gone back in the last 18 months and watched it, and it holds up, man. It's still a killer movie, dude. And an awesome story. It really is.
Close Encounters?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Although he says now, at that time, he was a 100% believer in flying saucers. He said now he's like, now there's so many cameras everywhere. He's like, you tell me that we've increased cameras 100% and now there's 50% less flying saucers being captured. He's like, just can't be.
Yeah, right.
Which is what the movie is kind of about, his faith. Like, it's about Richard Dreyfuss's faith that he did see what he saw.
Yeah.
And he just up and at the end of that movie, just up and abandons his kid.
Abandons 70s Terry Garr, no less.
What?
Are you kidding?
I don't care what kind of aliens told me. I'm going to look back and see my wife and my kids and think about the power bill and go, man, I would really like to go in there, but I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard pass. Sorry.
Can I go in for 10 minutes? Can I get a day pass?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll take it all.
And of course, that was before the movies where they had the aliens that probed your brain and did all this terrible stuff.
And that was really the only flaw of the movie was that character arc. Like he was dead set on the aliens and all this stuff.
Well, he says that's a single guy making movies who doesn't have kids. He says now that movie would end completely different.
Oh yeah. Well, there you go. But
it's
the same guy that made E.T.
Well, E.T. was supposed to be a sequel to Close Encounters.
Really?
Yeah, it was originally there's a UFO. It was in the 50s. These people went outside and they were supposedly their house was surrounded by UFOs or by aliens, and they went and called the cops. It's the something I can't remember what it's called, but it was supposed to be like the aliens come back and you find they're not as benevolent as you originally thought. And it was actually Francois Truffaut who plays the French director who plays the scientist in Close Encounters. He's like, no, it should be about, he said, you're like a kid, it should be about a little kid and an alien as friends.
So he's the one that gets him to make him benevolent?
Yeah.
Well,
it turned out to be good box office.
Oh yeah. For a long time, that was the highest grossing movie of all time.
Yeah.
It was good. It wasn't Raiders. Raiders of the Law.
It doesn't.
No, you're right. Raiders of the Lost Ark does.
Yeah, I watched it like a week ago.
Does.
It's my favorite movie.
There are moments in E.T. that hold up great. Like the thing where Peter Coyote's character has the keys on his belt. and they jingle, and that's how E.T. knows it's him. Like when they're coming, like stuff like that really holds. And I think what scared me as a kid was the guys in the spacesuit coming out the windows.
Yes.
That freaked me out.
Yeah,
and but like I said, compared to like Close Encounters of Raiders of Jaws, so yeah, I don't think it holds up nearly as well.
No, well, but Raiders, maybe to me, Raiders is kind of like the 25th Hour. It just resonates. When I got out of the theater with my dad, and I said, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And I started like writing choose your own adventure books, and we'd go down to the woods, and I'd put my hat on, and we would have treasure maps, and like that changed my life. Like it changed everything that it was.
Yeah, that's not my favorite Spielberg, but it's perfect. It really is. Like I rewatched it a few days ago, and you really couldn't. Today you couldn't make it better.
Nope.
It would only be worse.
Speaking of, we've got us a guest. River, come here a second. River, come here. My son is in the studio today because he didn't want to be at home alone, and this is perfect. We brought up Raiders of the Lost Ark. Come on in here. Come on in here. So, tell me, what do you think about Raiders of the Lost Ark? Don't be shy. Tell the people what you think about Raiders of the Lost Ark.
The effects were fake.
All right, get out of here. I could kill this kid.
Well, why are fake?
Well, they're faking everything you've ever seen, buddy.
Anything CGI is fake and looks fake to me.
If you guys have been listening to our podcast, I think on the second episode we were talking about effects and how they've changed. And for me to watch Raiders with my son and him tell me that the effects are fake, like it almost insults me.
Right.
Although he is a good moviegoer. He's going to be a great critic one day. He loves watching movies. But now that he's here, he can at least... There you go.
That's his opinion. He's seen the movie.
He's seen the movie.
He gives it 2 enthusiastic thumbs up.
Yeah, he's going to sleep outside all winter. Okay, so... No, I'm just kidding. He's... I guess he likes his opinion. But okay, so actually... All right, hey, come back one more time. I got a question for you. So here's a 10-year-old. Here's a 10-year-old. What's your... Okay, give us your opinion. If Raiders of the Lost Ark, how old was I?
I was 82.
So I would have been...
You were 8.
8 years old.
Right.
Okay. That was still my favorite movie of all time.
I was
Never has strayed, ever. What is, and think really good about this, and come down here so they can hear you, what is your favorite movie of all time? As of right now, what if you could look back and really think about the best movie, what is it?
Put him on the spot, dude.
Has to be the new Halloween movie.
Get out.
Get out.
Get out. Just get out. Love you, River. Get out.
The one I told him he couldn't see. His mom took it too.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to have to edit that, or they're going to, like...
So obviously he knows nothing about Raiders if he says that.
He's in a horror movie spell, so to speak.
I've been in that spell for like 35 years.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. He went from Marvel to horror, and he begs me to watch movies that I can't show him.
Right.
Although I did give him The Witch. I let him watch The Witch up until that last scene where Satan comes in and but
that makes it.
I know, but you can't.
It's a necessary scene.
Okay, maybe. Well,
You're depriving the boy.
I cut it off and said, so they get naked and start flying around the woods.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
He probably would have put his eyes down anyway.
I know, right. So there you go. But I gave him The Witch. So
give him the option.
DSS is already being called right now. If anybody's
They're at your house.
Thank God we're at the office. Okay. But anyway, we got back. So that's funny. That's how different these kids are.
Yeah.
It's the next best thing. That's the last movie you probably saw.
Yeah.
We were different. 80s, man, it was Spielberg, every one of his films. Raiders.
Not just movies he produced.
Oh, yeah, the Goonies is like my favorite.
Poltergeist. I'm trying to think. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, yeah.
He was everywhere.
He had his hand in everything.
And we were watching all those movies. And they were all wholesome and they were all good. Yeah. And there was no YouTube and there was no desensitization. You had to go to the movie. I remember, and I think I've said this, I'm probably going to be a broken record, but I remember the Crown Cinema.
Yeah.
I remember when Return of the Jedi came, again, with the new Dolby surround sound. Yeah. And my dad was so excited. we had to go back, and I was like, "We just went and saw Return of the Jedi," and he's like, "No, this is different. You got to come back." Now
Nobody cares.
Oh, dude! And speaking of, like, it's crazy. Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So my nephew's there, and he's got the Oculus.
Right.
I don't know if you're familiar with the Oculus. The Oculus is a virtual reality skull cap with glasses, and then you put these things on your hands, right? And then you literally like
I understand the concept.
So
Like lawnmower.
I've seen the commercial.
Yes.
You've seen the commercial for him.
Dude, I felt like Tron.
Yeah.
I put it on, he turned it on, and I'm like putting my hand. So I'm testing these things, and I'm just like, this is insane. So he's like, "What do you want to do? You want to do the bar fight?" So there's this game called Bar Fight.
Right.
It's the coolest thing ever. You walk into a bar, there's a woman serving. I'm like, "What do I do?" And he's like, "Well, you can either instigate or wait to be instigated, but you got to fight." And I'm like, you got to swing and you got to kick.
What if it's Ed Norton there? Do you kick?
No, dude. I would have probably not been mean to him and sat down and been like, "Well, now that you revoked my license, you can buy my drinks." But no. So what does Garrick do? Garrick gets in there. Everybody's watching. The whole family's watching. There's a woman bartender behind the bar. There's a bottle of wine. I picked the bottle of wine up, I chugged it, and cracked it over her head. And I cracked it over her head, and then I turned this way, and the whole bar charges me.
Right.
And I'm literally like swinging to the point where I fell into the dinner table. Like I was like,
Did you feel it when you fell into the dinner table?
Dude, it's so real.
Yeah.
It's no wonder.
Yeah.
Like it's just no wonder. Like it's changed so much. We had to go to the Crown Cinema, the Mildew seats for Dolby Surround, and now I'm in a garage bar fighting. It's crazy. And my son's favorite movie is the last movie he saw.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, favorite movies are a very individual thing. I mean, who is it that makes these lists of the greatest movies of all time? Like, and usually on the top of it is Citizen Kane.
Right.
But it is.
Which most people have never seen Citizen Kane.
That's true.
And if they did see it today, they'd go, "Oh, it's in black and white. I don't think I can sit through
Well,
it."
there's a difference in favorite and greatest, because Citizen Kane, although isn't one of my favorites, it's up there. It still is probably
Technically, it's one of the greatest films ever.
Yeah.
Especially
The Godfather. I love The Godfather. It's just not in my top 20. I'll watch it over and over and over again, and it's one of the best movies ever made.
I've tried.
It's just so long.
I've tried to love it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I have sat through it, I believe, 3 times and have tried to love it, and I just don't.
Yeah. I used to watch
It's
it all
okay.
along.
I've never seen The Godfather.
Well, see, that's the thing. My buddy Mike D. Shout out to Mike D. He's a huge David Lean fan.
Right.
Dr. Zhivago, Bridge of River Kwai.
Yeah.
Yes, those movies are fantastic, but oh my gosh, if I have to sit through Dr. Zhivago again ever in my life, it would be too soon.
What about Lawrence of Arabia?
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it again.
Yeah.
Like
I saw, there's a Blu-ray. It's the size. It's a box.
Yeah.
It's huge of this Lawrence of Arabia. I was like, and it looks so awesome. But I was like, I would never watch that. I would watch it once, then put it in, it would be on my shelf, and I would never watch it again.
You're right. It's
an amazing movie.
Amazing movie. I mean, it's amazing. It's shot in 235. Like it's amazing. It's
an ordeal
and
watching.
My buddy Mike,
It's much like the kill list. I just wouldn't watch it again.
He'll turn it on while he's cleaning his house, to watch the whole thing. So, I think.
Well, I have movies like that. Like I love the Godfather movie. Well, the first 2, but I like. They're more. It's like you have to set that time to watch it. It's not like Raiders where you just put it on.
Right.
It has to be you got to be like, well, this weekend I'm doing this. I'm getting some food, and it's like you can't just watch it.
Yeah.
You can't just like passively watch it.
I have tried to actively watch it.
Yeah.
And I just...
Oh, yeah.
I think you could. I think it's one of those that if it's on TV sometime, you have to sit there and watch the rest of it. Even, no matter how far into it, you sit there and you'll watch the rest of it.
What you don't watch is the novel for television, which is 1 and 2 edited together chronologically. So it starts in Sicily in like 1905. I tried to watch it one time. It is unbearable.
Really?
Oh, yeah, because it's the whole movie in, like, it's all the Robert De Niro stuff first, him coming to America. Then it comes all the, then it goes to the 1940s, then it goes up through the
so you're watching 2 first, and then...
No, it's one movie. They edited it into one
like the first
movie.
half
Oh,
of
my God.
the second one spliced.
How many hours is that?
Oh, it's got to be close to 5. They put it on Amazon. I was like, I'll give that a shot. And
Did you buy that?
No, they had it for streaming on Amazon. Right?
So it's
You watched all 5 hours?
No, I made about an hour. Yeah.
Wow.
I love that.
Like, who has time for that?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even, it's funny, I don't even bring, when I come over here and work, I'll put in a movie, just says, background.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like I've said, it's like my metronome, it keeps me focused, but I don't bring any of my 3-hour movies.
No.
Because it won't be able to be on for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So even though it's just like a metronome, it has to finish. You have to be here
because I'll go home for lunch.
Well, now
like
you've been
Inglourious Bastards, I've been trying to watch it like 4 times.
Right.
It's like, it's too long.
Yeah.
That opening scene where he's sitting at he's sitting at that table talking to that dude, and all those people are underneath the... I mean, it is a great scene. But, dude, it lasts 22 minutes.
Yeah.
It's
22 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, but
when the books are opened, as they say, 20, 30 years from now, I think that has a chance of going down as QT's best movie.
You think
he says that's his best movie.
I think it's Brad Pitt's best movie.
Every time I've watched it, I like it more and more and more. It's amazing.
He said after Death Proof, which was the only movie his fans didn't like.
I love Death Proof.
I love it.
He knew from then, because he's always said he's going to make 10 movies.
Is that a rumor?
No, he says he's quitting.
He's done.
Yeah.
So he's like down 2 more.
He's got 2 more movies. After Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, there'll be 1 more movie after that.
Or 2 more.
Well, he's got to be
I don't think Death Proof is in his 10.
You don't think it's in his 10?
I don't think it's.
It could be. I
thought
that was a Robert Rodriguez. Hey, I need a favor. Remember they did From Dusk Till Dawn. He wrote it, and he says, "Hey, I'm going to do this thing, and Harvey's going to pay for it."
I might be wrong, but I thought that it was this one and then 2 more.
I could be anyway, but he's like that. His filmography is everything, and he's like. He's not like an artist that he is an artist, but he's really connected to his fans.
Right.
He said if they didn't like it, he's like from here on out, he's like they all got to be home runs. He's like no more fucking around with I want to do this. He's like it's got to be all be awesome. He said that's why the next one after that was Inglourious Basterds. He's like I made it as awesome as I could.
And they're all really good.
Well, and everything since then has been on the open up.
I mean, there's not a. I mean, even Jackie Brown at his weakest was good.
In retrospect, dude, I love Jackie. It's his best directed movie because
what you would expect.
It's doing a movie that has fight scenes and stuff. That's all great and a completely different type of directing. Doing a movie that's basically a love story between 2 middle-aged people and making it really dynamic. That's really hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's.
And I'm not saying it's his best movie. I think it's probably his best directed movie.
Yeah. Leave it to Tarantino to completely come in and machine gun Steven Spielberg's conversation. We were talking about Steven Spielberg, and Spielberg was getting ready to nasally tell us how great this and this and this was, and Quentin comes in and goes, da, 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 da.
Because we're going to be doing one thing and one thing only.
He got married yesterday.
Killing nasty.
Who's that?
Tarantino got married yesterday.
Good for him.
What? Did he? Golly.
Some model.
Really? Oh, yeah, some model.
Of course.
Yeah.
Some model.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny, man. I think, and this is a different discussion, we'll wait, but just thinking about him getting married, when the Harvey Weinstein, Mira Sorvino thing came out,
right?
Because he was dating her.
Oh yeah, they were engaged.
Yes.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino
was dating Mira when all that stuff happened.
Yeah.
And his response to that was probably the best, because everybody was giving Matt Damon a lot of heart. Like, you guys knew.
Right.
And everybody's like, dude, we all knew. Everybody knew it was Harvey.
It was
don't do anything.
Yeah.
It's Harvey. And Quentin Tarantino said, his back pocket was making my films.
Yeah.
Everybody knew that.
Right.
Like, what do you say to him?
Right.
You don't say anything to him.
Right.
He's like the Godfather.
Yeah.
You just turn a cheek, and everybody's like,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. Like, I mean, dude, whatever. Harvey Weinstein, he could rot in hell. I mean, I applied 12 times to his production company.
Yeah.
Now I know why I didn't get hired.
Right.
But I never even got rejection letters. Like, it's just like virtual hell. So, you know, but I do get, like, it's just a different time now. And
Should have put it out, right?
oh, he's hashtag me too. Be careful.
You can send all those emails to Garrick Lane.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so back to Spielberg.
Yeah.
We were talking about Spielberg, and we got a little bit off subject, but I wanted to do at least a little bit, talk about a little bit of his work, because we don't do this mainstream stuff. Like, we don't, Spielberg's mainstream, and the drive-in is not about mainstream.
Yeah.
So, but I've got a funny list. The Color Purple, Hook, and Catch Me If You Can are my three favorite. Probably not the greatest.
Yeah.
But they're my three favorite. Now that is obviously omitting Jaws and Raiders of the Lost Ark, which you know are on my top 10 of all time. So like a pageant, you know, you can't. In a pageant, there's the greatest.
Yeah.
You know, there's the prettiest girl, but she can't win in her division. So there you go. Jaws and Raiders are up here, and the elite here.
Participation awards.
Yeah, participation awards.
Yeah.
So, I liked all three of those. And I know Hook, everybody's going to be like, dude, that guy's nuts. I liked Hook.
Yeah.
I did. Go ahead, rip me up.
I actually watched it with Oliver a few years ago. I thought it was something he would watch. And it's been some time since I had seen it. I really struggled to get through it.
Really?
Yeah. I hated it.
I don't know.
I don't hate it. It's just...
I hated it, I guess, because I'm old.
Yeah.
You know,
it was my first VHS tape. I bought it from Blockbuster. It was on sale for like
sympathetic.
Dustin
$13.99.
Hoffman, Captain Hook.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
I vaguely
it was
remember that
awesome.
movie.
Like, yes, it was cheesy, but the sets and like,
Oh, yeah, it looks
world,
amazing.
like everything, you know, and I like that kind of stuff. But and then Catch Me If You Can. I mean, anything Leonardo.
Loved it. Yeah. That's one of the, under the radar. Even though it has major actors in it, it kind of slid under.
Oh, yeah.
Especially it's one of his
Leonardo
movies.
DiCaprio.
It slid past me to where I didn't even see it.
Tom Hanks is awesome in it too, right?
Really good.
I think you would really like it. It's an uplifting movie, true story. It's killer, man.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Christopher Walken's great in it.
Everybody is.
Yeah, really. Everyone. That's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like a Spielberg movie.
No.
It doesn't have that sort of
Feel,
the feel, like the magical feel. You know, I mean, there's not really that many of his movies I dislike. There's some of them I haven't seen. Like I didn't watch Lincoln. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see War Horse.
I loved Lincoln.
Lincoln was good. I actually did not watch War Horse either. I have stolen my dad's Blu-ray, and it's been in the
exactly.
drawer
You could give it to me. You could hand me a 4K Blu-ray of War Horse, and it'll sit on my shelf to the end of time. It's about a guy in World War I with a horse. I just do not care.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Ready Player One or The Post either. So I'm like,
I forgot The Post even existed.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
Now,
Maybe
Post is awesome.
The Ready Player One's it's an entertaining movie. We're talking about it's Stranger Things. It's Stranger Things on Adderall. It's just the 80s shoved in your face. There's a whole scene that takes place in the Overlook Hotel. There's a Shining scene.
Really?
It's basically him
rehashing us.
Yeah. Well, kind of
rehashing our 80s.
It's an homage to himself almost, if you right? Because it's a lot of his things in there, and a lot of
tons of other stuff. The bad guy turns into Mecha Godzilla at the end. I mean, it's a cool movie. It's a cool movie. It really is.
Not one of his best, I won't say.
And I don't really think he was trying to. He was just, it's almost like a gift to his fans.
Here you go.
Here you guys will love this.
River and I have not watched that. I would like to see that.
I think
maybe if we watch that, that could be.
I really like Munich.
Munich is a really good movie.
There's one of the actors in it who's a French guy. He directed a movie I really like called Crimson Rivers. It's sort of like the French Seven. And this was before Munich. But he asked if he could audition for Munich just so he could watch Spielberg work. And he's the toy maker, or he's the guy who makes the bombs, or I can't remember exactly which guy he is.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but he's like, be honest with you, he's like, I just did it just to watch him do his thing. That's how you know you're the man.
Wow.
When people do say, Matthew, I can't remember the guy's name, but yeah, he makes really cool movies though.
He is the man. I mean,
yeah.
Has he had a over-the-top blockbuster in the last 25 years? No. But he doesn't have to, because he had a ton of them.
25 years. Well, yeah, but Schindler's List was 20.
But Jurassic Park was 94.
Oh, yeah.
Same year as Schindler's List.
Oh, yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
Well, Lawrence Kasdan must have been the man in the 80s then, because Kevin Costner wanted to just be in a Kasdan film, so he was the dead body in The Big Chill.
Right, yeah. And he got that movie because he wrote... he's got the directing job because he wrote Return of the Jedi and Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. And the new Indiana Jones, The Crystal Skull.
Oh, that's a terrible movie.
No.
It's still Indiana Jones.
It is.
No, it isn't.
It's
I'll
terrible.
argue with you to death that no, it is
Have
not.
you ever seen the Korean spaghetti western, The Good, the Bad, the Weird? You ever seen this?
No.
It has the feeling of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, it's just fun, and the stunts are great, and it looks amazing.
The Good, the Bad, and the Weird?
The Good, the Bad, the Weird.
Where do you find these things?
You gotta find it in a truck stop.
He sent me, I replied to your email, but
I
it
didn't see
bounced
it.
back. But he sent me a list of comedies. And I'm like, I don't even know what these are. And he's like, hey, we should do this. And of course,
it was a suggestion.
Hey, I appreciate it because I struggle. We
When you
struggle
watch as many movies as I do, eventually just normal movies, you're like, I've seen this 1,000 times. I
Just doesn't do it for
I
you.
gotta watch something else.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I watched see, it's been so long since we did a podcast.
Yeah.
Train to Busan.
Train to Busan, what'd you think?
It was good. I think.
Yeah.
Did we talk about this?
We were talking
I
about...
was talking about how you should watch that as opposed to finishing Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Because Walking Dead is a snore.
So anyway, for our listeners, real quick, we'll do a disclaimer. We started actually. We watched Duel last week.
Right.
Okay. And we started doing the podcast, and about 20 minutes in, we had audio problems, which then prompted me, because I'd had a crappy day, to pretty much blow up and end the
He put a
session.
fist through his keyboard.
Yeah, I put a fist through the keyboard.
But the keyboard was big and big.
Yes, it
Not
was.
fairness.
So anyway, make a long story short, we actually started this podcast, and now we are actually trying to finish it. And one thing that has been excluded from this podcast is that Doug watched Kill List from our first podcast, and he did review it, and him and Lee had an actual really bounce back discussion about Kill List.
I can't remember anything.
For the sake of time, we will not rehash that.
But I have it, and we will post it up on our website if you guys want to know what Doug thought about Kill List.
Did we make it to the end of the argument?
So anyway, yes, that was actually where it stopped.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, when I say, hey, Train to Busan, I was wondering if I discussed that at
You
the
did.
beginning.
That was in a different...
Okay, so then everybody knows what I saw about
Right.
it. Okay, so then there we go. Never
No, you didn't talk about it. I told you to watch it.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it was good. I mean, yeah.
It's it's a zombie movie that takes place on a bullet train.
It's quick and
That's
easy.
all. That's all I need to
painless
know.
and-
yeah.
I can't believe. So we're really not Crystal Skull. We are not categorizing as
That's a turd.
I'm not talking about it.
Come on, Kate Blanchett.
Do you not remember?
Oh my God! The
Yes, I
You
know.
and I sat in the theater.
Yes, I know.
It was not even, I don't even think 20 minutes in, and both of us had our hands over our faces in absolute disgust. I'm not going to give
But
it
I thought
the
about it
satisfaction of
more, and
talking
then I
about
watched it a
again.
couple more times, and I'm like, it's an indie movie. It's just the way that it is.
When I went and saw it with my late friend Curran, when
Curran.
the theme started at the beginning, I Charlie horsed his arm so hard. I was so excited. I was like, yeah! And I just punched him in the arm really hard. And I was just like, and then
By the end, he punched you.
By the time we got to the scene where Shia LaBeouf was swinging with the monkeys, which is the worst thing in the history of the world. And there are cool things in it, like the fight scene with the ants where he's fighting the big red and the guy gets eaten by the ants. That's 100% Indiana Jones. That's what it's all about, you know. that movie is not it. You know, just,
and they're trying to bring it back. I hear that.
Well, so here's a cool thing. So
it's going to be Indiana Jones at 75.
I spent quite a few years in Los Angeles,
right.
And film school and stuff like this. You tend to get stuff. This was before the internet. Stuff would float around, and you could go to Samuel French books and find stuff.
Yeah,
we got a hold of 2 Indiana Jones scripts that were, rumor has it were going to be made. One was in Indy going after the Ark, Noah's Ark,
right,
and his son, like his estranged son, was going, and he went to stop him. So it's kind of the same. And then there was another one that had to do with aliens, but it was
that the Frank Darabont one?
It was, yes, yeah. But it's amazing I read those a couple of times. I'm like, man, this is really good.
Yeah,
like, this is really
the Frank
good.
Darabont script is really good.
It's really good. And then for Crystal Skull to be the one that was greenlit, it's crazy.
Yeah,
they had all sorts of stuff floating around for years.
I have never. I've seen bad movies in the theater. Everybody has.
Yeah.
But I have never been angry at the end of a movie like I was.
I remember.
After
I
watching
was
the
too.
Crystal Skull. I was furious.
I think I got over it and watched it a couple more times. And
I've probably seen it 3
The
times.
monkeys. Yes, you're right. Like a lot of it was ridiculous.
I
But
just
then
hated
again,
it.
I remember.
Hated everything about it.
Like the refrigerator. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I think it was just the alien thing. Like, why couldn't they have just stayed in the past?
Yeah, and the whole thing. Yeah, or why couldn't it just be something like mystical?
Yeah.
It's like Star Wars. It's like in the original trilogy, it's the Force. In the prequels, it's midichlorians, which is bacteria in your blood. It's like you don't have to explain everything. Some things are just magical.
Yeah, right.
Like it, Anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan are kind of in their own.
Minority Report. Another Spielberg that I think is underrated. I think it's a really cool movie. Maybe people don't like it because Tom Cruise is in it. I don't know, but
Tom Cruise is great.
Yeah,
he's fantastic. I love him too.
I don't care if he's a Scientologist.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's insane, but it's fun. But it's a cool movie, and Amistad is another one of his. It's kind of under the radar. A lot of people don't watch it now.
If they started blackballing people in Hollywood for being out of their mind, it'd be a ghost town in about 48 hours.
You're exactly right. And the new Mission Impossible is now out on digital. I will watch it.
Did you see what Christopher McQuarrie said about the whole? Because they're talking about doing the popular movie Oscar.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, "Why is there not a stunt Oscar?" He's like, which is I completely.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the last Resident Evil movie that got made, a stunt guy died and a stunt woman got her arm cut off.
Oh yeah, that one they were doing the Allman Brothers. That wasn't a stunt.
That was a stunt guy. That was a first AD.
The scene in the new Mission Impossible where he breaks his foot is obvious.
Oh yeah,
Of course, there was obviously one take, but
you saw it?
Oh yeah.
When'd you see it?
I saw it at the theater a couple weeks ago.
Oh wow, so it's really good.
It's really good.
Yeah, like during some of the stunts, my palms are just pouring.
Yeah, you told me that. And all the reviews, like Quentin Tarantino, I think was one of them, was like Tom Cruise is like as good as he is. Yeah. Like it's as good as it gets.
Yeah, it really is.
And
as far as just like that's what Hollywood should be doing. Like just big movies that it's shot on film. It's all this. I mean, it has CGI in it, obviously, but you don't notice it. You're not like, oh yeah, look at that big CGI monster. Like the CGI is almost invisible.
Was it shot on film?
Yeah, shot on film. Yep. Yeah.
Nice.
Would that be a film River would enjoy? He probably wouldn't get some of the plots, but
I think so. I don't think there's anything objectionable about it.
It's PG-13.
Yeah.
So it should be fun. Well, maybe we can check that out this weekend.
It's an edge of your seat film.
It really is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you said it was. That's great. Okay. Well, you got to say. I was going to talk about Indy, but you guys destroyed it now with the Crystal Skull. But hey, I'm gonna my bathwater showdown. Well, Charlize Theron, she started coming back there at the end, but the bride Uma Thurman. Uma Thurman won last week's bathwater showdown.
Right.
I've got a funny one this week, and we didn't really speak too much about Indiana Jones, or as much as I wanted to, but that's okay. The Bathwater Showdown this week is a triple threat match. We've got Karen Allen, who plays Marion Ravenwood in the in the first Raiders, or in the first Indiana Jones, and then you got Kate Capshaw, who's Willie Scott, the dancer in Temple of Doom.
Yummy.
And then you have Allison Doody, the Elsa Schneider from The Last Crusade.
Yeah.
I was going to add Kate Blanchett in there, but she's a bad guy, so we're just going to do the three women of Indiana Jones. That's our Bathwater Showdown this week. Karen Allen, tomboyish but sexy. Kate Capshaw, dancer, princess, diva.
Yep, shrill scream, but extremely attractive.
Yeah, and then Allison Doody, who, if you watch that movie, she plays, the double agent.
Elsa?
She plays the Russian double agent that can't decide if she wants to be a bad guy or a good guy. There's our Bathwater Showdown. Go to the Facebook page and vote. Let's see who wins.
Let me ask you a question real quick, just between all Raiders. Okay, what's the best sequel, Temple of Doom or Last Crusade?
Last Crusade.
Last Crusade, absolutely,
Yeah. Temple is only in there because of when it was made, and the time of my life that I watched it.
Right.
Temple was good.
The opening is amazing.
Yeah,
the opening is amazing.
It's not bad of these three. I mean, you're talking almost three. Virtually perfect movies with a perfect main character and a story that I'm in love with.
Yeah.
So to pick the number three of those is
three has the most heart.
Yeah, it's Sean Connery.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Short Round.
Yeah.
If it would have been, I don't know who was. If it would have been somebody else, like who was good in the 80s?
In the 80s, it would have been Corey Feldman.
Yeah, Corey. Yeah, Ralph Macchio. Ralph Macchio. It might have been, it might have been completely different. I wasn't a big fan of Kate Capshaw.
Yeah.
Although I did like she was completely different than Marion, but I don't know. Maybe it just.
I thought she was an absolute upgrade.
Oh yeah. Oh, there you go.
She was sleeping with the director. Is that what
the screaming?
They actually
her shrill.
got together.
She's got some bad screaming. I'm simply talking about
attractiveness.
Agreed. It's not. I mean,
she was pretty.
Yeah.
For 80s, she was 80s pretty. What about Terry Garr? Does she beat 80s Terry Garr?
Easy.
80 or 70s Terry Garr? Young Frankenstein Terry Garr? I don't know.
She's
that's
sexy.
That's close.
Does she beat Taxi Driver Sybil Shepherd?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
nothing.
She's got a really big face.
Well, that's a whole other bathwater. You
guys got a lot of bathwater to drink.
Yeah, wow, just pulling up on that. What got us another movie?
I actually went with one. It's you ever visited the Warner Brothers Archive? It's a really great service where there's movies that'll never be on stores on DVD, and you can if you buy the DVD, they make you one and they send it to you.
What?
Yeah, it's one. They've got movies like from the 30s, 40s. You'll just never, they'll never be in Best Buy,
Huh.
And recently they just put out, and I picked this one just for this episode. It's not a new movie; it's a much older movie. It's a TV movie from the 70s that just came out on Blu-ray, and you can get it. You can get it on Best Buy and also on Warner Brothers Archive. It's called Bad Ronald. It's a really weird movie. I know that's a huge shock.
Bad Ronald?
Bad Ronald. This guy, when he's a kid, he shoves this little girl, and she falls and she hits her head on a cinder block and kills her. And the mom freaks out and walls this secret room off and wallpapers it over and puts him in there. And she tells him when the cops stop looking for him, they'll let him out. Well, then she goes to the hospital and dies. And a family moves into the house, and he's still in the walls.
Oh, no.
And it was a TV movie like 1975. I saw it when I was a kid.
Bad Ronald.
I saw it when I was a kid.
TV movies were much better in the 70s.
Well, they were huge. That's something like. It's like one of my favorite Stephen King movies is the original Salem's Lot. Which was directed
David Soul.
Yeah, it was directed by Tobe Hooper, which Hooper had already directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But I think Salem's Lot is what got him the job directing Poltergeist, because that was a 4-hour movie and it was just huge. And I've watched it recently.
It was like a mini-series, I think.
4 hours, It holds up. Yeah, like I saw it. I probably saw that Bad Ronald.
Get it anywhere? So you have to get it from the Warner Brothers.
You can get it on Best Buy. The Blu-rays they sell sort of more.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what website is that?
Warner Archive.
Warner Archive.
They have
you can go there and actually.
Yep.
You can actually
get
purchase.
Old TV shows you can get.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder who's the brilliant marketing guy that decided.
It was probably
we should probably do this.
Like a year and a half ago, some at Warner's realized they owned a bunch of Golden Harvest movies. And I guess they would never put out. So you can order, like they've got like Sammo Hung movies. I ordered Pedicab Driver, which is my favorite Sammo Hung movie. I ordered that off there. You know. Or I've ordered tons of stuff off there. It's like I say, they burn you one, but it's even though it's a burnt DVD, it's really good quality.
All right.
I mean, but the Blu-rays are printed Blu-ray. They're not like they're store quality Blu-rays.
Huh.
Yeah.
Warner Archive.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's a recommendation for Bad Ronald and also for Warner Archive.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, and the movie this week we watched Duel, and it's funny. I was going to talk about a film that I watched. And if anybody was on the Facebook page, they saw the opening shot of Maximum Overdrive.
No doubt. Which just came out on Blu-ray, like a 2-disc Blu-ray.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And it's pretty awful. Now, I like. There was a guy on our site.
Yeah.
There was a guy on our site that picked out that frame.
Yeah. Because this is an obscure frame.
Look it up, actually.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
So, what the Maximum Overdrive was shot in Wilmington, North Carolina. It was Stephen King's first written and directed, and last directed movie. And
Stephen King directed it.
Yeah, and he openly admitted after that he had binged on cocaine.
Oh yeah. Apparently, like when you shoot a movie, they'll give you crew shirts or jackets. They usually say like Raiders of the Lost Ark. They'll have the name of the movie on it. Those were apparently just black shirts that in big red letters just said, "What the fuck are we doing?" and because apparently everybody knew they were just making something ridiculous.
And it really was.
It really is.
But you know what? It could have.
It's not a bad story.
It's an entertaining movie.
Yeah,
it's not a bad story.
It's a Stephen King story. It's probably pretty good.
Yeah, the story is based on his trucks.
It's like the guy on our Facebook page, and I'm going to give him a shout out if you can find it. But he said, quote, "It's people getting run over by big trucks and AC/DC music."
Here's the exact quote. It's from Greg Crane, who's a member of our Facebook page. He says, "The 3 things for making a great film: AC/DC soundtrack blasting throughout, semis running people over, and AC/DC soundtrack blasting throughout." They actually did the score for the film.
Yeah, they did. It's like,
yeah. There's you know what the blacklist is? The script list.
Yes.
Okay, last year there were 2 scripts about Stephen King last year on the blacklist. One is called a drama called The Kings of Maine, which is about him when he was a high school teacher and a janitor trying to get Carrie published, and it sounds really sweet. The second one is about him directing Maximum Overdrive, and apparently it's just about him just being coked out of his gourd. It's a comedy, and that's the one I hope gets made so bad.
Oh yeah, that sounds great.
I would pay.
And what's amazing, you would think since Stephen King was open about it, if it was a good script and he read it, he would like work it and go, do this for sure.
And don't tell me the song TNT has to be in it.
I don't know. They wrote all the song is Who Made Who, which is a line from the movie. They wrote all the original songs.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, the opening shot is the iconic shot from the battleship in Wilmington.
Yeah,
and then it goes into the first bank of Wilmington, and there's a big light that's going
the crawl.
F you.
Yeah.
And it's Stephen King goes up to the ATM, gets some money out, and ATM calls him an asshole. And he kind of looks over and goes, "Honey, this machine just called me an asshole." And then it's dance, dance, and then AC/DC Who Made Who kicks in, and from there on, it's awesome.
It's just about
my only problem was, dude, those trucks destroyed everything, and then Emilio Estevez just everything took its own, had its own life besides that rocket launcher.
Right.
That rocket launcher was still human, and it he came out and he just shot the truck, and that was it.
Yeah.
And they got on a boat, and that was the end of it.
It's it's a ridiculous movie.
Oh, it is.
He said that that was the time that was right before he got sober, and that was around. He said he had no memory of writing Cujo.
Really?
He just when he came.
So he would just get coked out of score.
He said he would get coked up, right, and then he would drink a ball of NyQuil and go to sleep. And
what a life! I would do that.
On top of a lot of beers too.
I'm sure.
Remember, you know, like 20 beers
Yeah,
a
but then he was
day.
writing a book like a week, like bringing in the money. Like he probably never left his house and stay in his underwear and do coke.
It was back when there was nothing to do in Wilmington.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could write that much too,
give me 2 8-balls and a 6-pack of NyQuil.
I would be doing the midnight drive-in. I'd be writing books and doing coke and drinking NyQuil. It would have been great.
Especially in the early 80s when it's...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It was somewhat more accepted.
Yeah, it was much more. Yeah. Well, actually, if you want to do coke these days, it's accepted.
Yeah.
It's the the opiates and the meth. Like,
exactly.
You're just doing coke.
You probably got stuff to do.
Don't do any more in the car, sir. Go home, please.
I guess 10, 12 days ago, William Goldman, the screenwriter, passed away. He was 90?
Yes.
91, 92. Wrote the script to Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, which some people say is the greatest script ever written.
It probably
Wrote the novel and the script for Princess Bride, the novel and the script for Marathon Man, which is one of my favorite movies of the 70s.
All the President's Men.
All the President's Men, yeah.
Chaplin.
Yeah.
I mean, not the best movie.
Right.
Biopic, but it was great. Misery.
Misery, yeah.
Yeah, Maverick. That was a great movie.
Yeah, that's a really cool one. Yeah.
He was totally against the Hollywood stuff. Like
his famous quote is that nobody knows anything about movies. He's like, these people who claim to be experts, he's like, they don't have a clue. He's like, a movie's a hit and they just make copies of it.
Yeah,
you know,
and that's
pretty much true. Yeah, and he was actually a playwright.
Yeah,
and just wrote a novel just to make some money, and somebody thought it was a treatment for a movie because it was so short. It was like a novella, and they just hired him to write the screenplay for it completely by accident.
See, that doesn't happen anymore.
No.
That was back when. I mean, he's one of the greatest writers ever. So I'm not taking
his book Adventures by the Screen.
That was back when Steven Spielberg walked into Universal.
Yeah.
So I've got this idea.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you don't do that anymore.
No, you get tased now.
Yeah, I mean, William Goldman could probably have taken his idea for Butch Cassidy, straight knocked on Paul Newman's door and said, "Hey, will you read this?" Back then, and Paul Newman would have been like, "Sure, okay." You know, I mean, it's just things are different now. But
I was on Facebook today, and the guy who directed our movie from our second episode, Eric Red, the guy who directed Cohen and Tate, he put up a picture from the making of Cohen and Tate. It was a picture of him and Roy Scheider with their arms around each other, and he said he was 25 when he directed that movie. Which means he was like 20 when he wrote The Hitcher. Which just blows my mind.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was writing The Soldier's Battle when I was 20.
2 empty chairs.
Yeah. I was writing crap. And then it was, I was
running around acting like an idiot.
We were doing that too.
Yeah, that was probably in part. We wanted to go into the story, but that was
we'll get into that next time.
Well, and a footnote to that, our buddy Brian Mandel, my neighbor, the guy who helped us shoot that, was the DP for the Foot Fist Way.
Yes.
Ended up, he's buddies with Danny McBride and all those guys, and he's actually in Alaska now. He's been the head cameraman or director of photography on Alaska, The Last Frontier.
Oh, really?
Since it started.
Yeah.
And so,
Really?
He's
well done.
big. He's big. He does a lot of vignettes on Red Bull TV.
Yeah.
So,
Foot Fist Way is so funny.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's great. It was done, the School of the Arts.
Yeah.
That was all those guys. It was that graduating class.
My favorite line from that is when the woman's talking to him about the martial arts class. He's like, "Yeah, I do yoga." He's like, "I'm teaching you martial arts." And yoga's never stopped anybody from getting raped. I'm trying to be the best at exercising.
Well, anyway, rest in peace, William Goldman. There aren't many writers like you. I did 4 years of film school and lots of screenwriting conventions and read a couple of your books. And anything when screenplay is being discussed, William Goldman.
If you want to read a book about Hollywood, Adventures in the Screen Trade,
yes,
it's the book to read by William Goldman.
It's great. Mark's ready to go. Keeps checking his phone. He's like ready to go.
No, I was just about to start this video game so we can end this show.
Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I got one more quick thing. I'm a DP, obviously, do a lot of camera. Anybody that likes the camera aspect of films, cinematography and stuff, you gotta go to Instagram and check out the ASC's Instagram page. Russell Carpenter, which is the DP of Titanic, is doing like a two-month series where they're showing screenshots of Titanic, and he's giving you like just ample amounts of information of how they shot that. That's awesome. And like they're showing like all the little things that they did to make, because that film was like shot on a whim and a prayer. Anyway, it's very, very educational. He even gets to the point where he's talking about the lights, what lights they used and how they did it, how the water came in, and like pointing out where you can see the actual shore from the boat, but they had to shoot it because they were losing their light. And it's just really intuitive. It's Instagram. It's the ASC. You've got to check it out and go back to the beginning of November where he started doing it. It's awesome. I'm hooked. I check every day to see when the next one's coming out. There you go. Shameless plug for the ASC.
No problem. No problem with that.
All right. Well, that's it for this show. Dual or Maximum Overdrive?
Dual.
Depends on my mood. Most times dual, but every once in a while, Maximum Overdrive. Sometimes you just want to watch violent nonsense. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Me more than most people probably, but what are you going to do?
No, I like dual quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, and we will see you next week right back here. And till then, keep watching the films.
You've been listening to the Midnight Drive-In, brought to you by Golden Ticket Cinemas. $5 movies Monday through Friday. Ticket sales and times at gtccinemas.com. Looking for that hard-to-find collectible? Look no further. The Spot will find it for you. Located in Newton, North Carolina, but worldwide on Facebook at Facebook.com/The Spot Toys. And finally, preserve your company's legacy in HD. Contact Unique Philosophy and Roadhouse Pictures for all your marketing and video needs. Check them out at uniquephilosophy.com or call 828-485-7435. Their marketing is effective and efficient. They produce, engineer, and cut our shows, and we are grateful for them. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram or Twitter for all the latest news. And if you love the show, help us keep it going. Become a Patreon today. Thanks to all our sponsors for contributing to our show.